Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the PGA in Ireland, I'm delighted to welcome you all here this evening to the prize presentation from the wonderful Pro-Am we had today. Before we get into the presentation of prizes, I'd like to invite Captain Denis Woods to say a few words.
Thanks very much there, Maura. Indeed, I met you there a few weeks ago, and a pleasure. I know you have Abbeyfield connections, but welcome anyway, okay? Thanks. So, Lady Captain Liz, Lady President Kate, Vice Captain Nora Ryan, she's down there, she's just on the after coming in. Vice Captain Ray O'Reilly, I see him down there a while ago. President Frank Moore here on my right. And distinguished guests there from the PGA. I know Maura, John, Eddie, I met a few more of you earlier on there as well. And last but not least, our main sponsor here this evening, SDL, ably led by Mr. Michael O'Riordan there, who you have a bullabas there. Indeed, I know Michael for a long number of years there, and I know Mary is down there, and Pat and Anne, and I know all that family for a long number of years. And of course, I also want to welcome my good friend here, Mr. Seamus Hennessy, on my right hand side, okay? It's a huge honour for me as captain of this great club to welcome you all here this evening. The weather again was nearly a spoil sport like the captain's prize a few weeks ago, but indeed I'd say, John, we got there in the end. It didn't look in the best yesterday, but we got there in the end and it cleared up in time. Again, this is the second year in a row that the O'Riordan family and STL have sponsored this, and indeed it might be like the Limerick hurling team at the moment. We might be going for 3, 4 or even 5 in a row there, Mike, okay? A huge thanks here to all in Newcastle West Golf Club, from Ian there in the pro shop, and Bart indeed. I see him down there, and the young man, he's smiling away there at me. And indeed, you know, the hotel Longcourt have been a huge asset to us here with the food, and we had up and over 200 people here today, and they were all fed, and indeed they all look blooming after it, you know. So again, I want to thank John Devine there and Yvonne and the office staff who have been a huge help, and I know we have been in and out there for the last few weeks. Indeed, there was a huge amount of phone calls to be made and all that, and John, thanks a million there. And just on a side note, I want to wish you all the best in your upcoming retirement as well, John, okay? A bull of boss there, please. I want to thank Eamon Moran there and his course staff, indeed, for having the course in such fantastic condition, seeing that all the so much bad weather that we got there over the last really 4 or 5 weeks. It's a credit to Eamon, and actually I rang him there this evening there, and he was down in Kerry just to give him the best wishes of all concerned here with Newcastle West Golf Club. So thanks a million to Eamon as well. I'd also want to thank Paddy Ives there and our loyal bunch of Merry Men, his volunteers there. We were here indeed yesterday for a good long few hours trying to get the place in order, and leaves and bunkers and all that kind of stuff, you know. To you all the competitors and all the players today, I want to welcome you to Newcastle West Golf Club. I've spoke to a huge amount of the professionals here throughout the course of the day, and indeed they had nothing, only the best and height of praise for the golf club, bearing in mind that, as I say, that the weather that we had got there over the last number of weeks, you know. So without further ado, I suppose we'll go on to the presentation, Maura, and thank you all very much indeed.
Thanks, Denis. I'm now going to just ask Eddie Tracy, the captain of the PGA in Ireland, to say a few words.
Captain Denis, Lady Captain Liz, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to be here this evening at the Newcastle West SDL Logistics Pro-Am. I believe Newcastle West is Munster's friendliest club. That's what I was told anyway on the way in. There you go. And I've no reason to believe it's not. I mean, we were treated so well from the moment we arrived. coming in here, having lunch earlier, all the volunteers helping us park the cars and the whole lot, so a real credit to you. Thank you very much. To Mike from SDL Logistics, obviously without sponsorship there is no Pro-Am, so huge thank you Mike for your generous sponsorship and your continued sponsorship. Thank you. With all the weather we've had over the last week or two, I was half expecting this might be called off. I might have got an email this morning, but not only was the course playable, I thought the course was fantastic. So a huge amount of credit goes to Eamon, the greenkeeper, and all his staff for having it playing so well. So thank you, Eamon. Thank you to the Pro-Am committee for making sure everything ran smoothly. I believe there was organised panic here this morning, but again, the course played beautiful, everything ran smoothly, so thank you for that. To Ian Colleran and the Pro Shop team, again, for all their help and support during the day. Made life easier down at the driving range. There was a lot of men hitting golf balls and they were keeping everyone supplied, so thank you for that. To all the teams, thank you for competing. Obviously, again, without players playing, there is no Pro-Am, so thank you and well done to all the winners. Enjoy the rest of your evening and hopefully we'll be back next year. Thank you.
And of course, today is all down to SDL Logistics, so I'd like to ask Michael O'Riordan to say a few words.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Captain, Lady Captain, Lady President Kay, and Frank, President, and all friends and guests. I suppose this takes us back to, takes me anyway back, I suppose 1993, because we were in Killearn, we were after selling Killearn, and we were moving out here. Unfortunately, that year it rained most of that year, and I suppose Kay, Lady Captain, myself, Timmy Geary, Lord Mercy, Maureen, the land who's still with us, we had no club, so we just had to go on the road, and I think we've been on the road since. We were very lucky, we had great friends. We had great friends with Sean Walsh in Ballybunion and Noel Cronin in Waterville, because we toured everywhere. This club was not built by 4 or 5, but there have been 4 or 5 or 6 people that have been in this club, and I don't mind mentioning them. I'd say Derek and Lockie, when I suppose Derek was captain 91, Lockie was captain 92, I was there 93, and that was the start of it. There was great people on the committee. Lord Mercy and Timmy Geary was great president, Maureen, and there was great work done. And I suppose it's all about people. Everything is about the people, and that's why we ended up with what we've ended up with today. I say we had great secondary managers. Okay, we had Paddy Lyons, Lord Mercy in this we had no money. And when I listen to John Devine, I think the story is still the same after 30 years. You know, we had John Whelan, and he did it. And we had now John Devine, who's sorry to say is leaving the end of the week. And the great thing about, I suppose, all the people that I've spoken about, Derek and Lockie and John Whelan and Paddy, everything, they were all great people persons. And that's what it was about. Because when I came out this morning, and we were worried at 4 or 5 o'clock that it wasn't going to happen, like there's a great crew here. Like the place didn't look as well at 6 o'clock this morning as it looked at 9 o'clock, lads. And that's not down to me, it's down to all the people that have been here. I suppose I have to go back and the 30 years and mention my own family, my father, my mother, my sister Anne, who's here, my other sister Marie, my 2 brothers Liam and Jack. I suppose it would be 50 years on the 28th of August that STL was incorporated. So that was the first day, and I suppose it was kind of handed on to Mary and myself and the kids to take it on, and hopefully the old man looking down would say, Jesus, you haven't enough done, lads. Because nothing was never enough. Okay? It was all putting it back in. I suppose Mary and myself have lived in the town all our lives. The kids are with us. And Newcastle West has been a great part of it. And when I look around, like, they're all friends. I see the Burkes, Mike, who's kind of coming on as a golfer, it was in the family, like. and we've had great friends. And it's been great, the whole story down through the years, for all of us. It has. And I suppose Lord of Mercy, a lot of them are dead now. Lord of Mercy and Joe Devine said, he said, I suppose I don't have to meet you every day to let you know that I'm your friend. And that was it, because I kind of come in and out of here every couple of months and don't play that much golf here anymore. But when I come, we're welcome. Excellent. 'Tis all excellent. 'Tis all excellent. I suppose the course, when I look at it, when I walked this morning, and we walked it, I suppose 2 or 3 days ago, the credit due to the groundsmen, and there's only 4 here, and the credit to them, like, is unbelievable. All the work, like, there's 150 or 60 acres, there's a lot of bunkers, and the course, the greens, everything were excellent. And it was excellent. Andy McMahon from the Manor turned around and said, 'twas a credit to everybody. It's not a credit to me, it's credit to the boys, credit to John Devine, all the lads, Paddy Ivis, the whole lot. So I'd like to, will you give him a round of applause? That's it. And I have to thank Mary and my own kids who are not here, couldn't make it this evening, for all the support, because as a lot of people know, if I'm not stuck in STL, I'm stuck in the golf. If I'm not stuck in the golf, I'm stuck in the rugby. And if I'm not stuck there, I'm going racing with Seamus. Yeah. So I'd like to thank her for all the support down through the years. And hopefully, with the help of God, we'll be here again next year. Thanks, lads.
And now Seamus Hennessy is going to say a few words.
Thank you. You must think I have a great life just going racing, but it's not all as nice as that, Mike, given the impression there that it's just for the course activity. But distinguished guests, you've all been mentioned personally and formally just earlier on by your other colleagues. So it behoves me now to say to the PGA who've travelled to come to the Midwest, it's great to see you here, and certainly here in Newcastle West. Dennis mentioned 3 or 4 in a row. I got a light bulb moment there when Mike reminded us of the 50th anniversary. Sure, that's a great way to start off that 50th budget with a commitment to here again next year. You know, it's always nice on the day to be able to look forward to this time next year, if you can commit that. And once it's said, it can't be taken away, I think. Isn't that true? So I've learned that from John Devine and Fog Whelan, who've been working on these events with me on the last number of occasions. But all I just want to say, it's great to see such a nationwide turnout of professionals from well beyond the Midwest region, and thank you all for coming here, but particularly to all the participants who took part. It was lovely to see you all coming from all parts of the country. I was delighted to see Desi Scahill and Michael O'Donoghue, who's just retired from the Turf Club, who made it here. They had other commitments in Mount Juliet. They cancelled those and turned up here today. We're delighted, but with all of you that turned up, we're thrilled. I just want to say a special word of thanks to all that were working alongside me over the last number of months, to Pat Magner, Derek Heverin and Alistair Lynch and all the administrative staff, to Ian, and it's dangerous mentioning people, but they were the people that I was involved with. Everybody else has done a wonderful job. The catering, the grounds people have been mentioned previously. So we just are delighted to be a part of this in our home territory, and Mike and Mary's home turf. Mike is always delighted to do anything in support of golf, particularly if it's golf in Newcastle West. So it comes up trump. And he mentioned all his friends who are here. They're in the senior quarters now, but they contributed so much to our society growing up, not just in golf. Derek kept an eye on everything we were doing or everything we shouldn't have been doing. Pat McLaughlin lit up our lives with the ESP for so long. If we were stuck for a phone, John Devine put in one and it never appeared on our telecom air and build. So all of those things. And Liam Mackesy now, who's come on board, ensured that Golden Vale was backing us all the way with everything. So all of you played a major role in our lives. And your captain this year played a major role in the life of the town. You know how An Garda has changed in the last decade or so. I'd say it would do you hard. It would be a difficult one to name 2 or 3 Gardaí in the town now. You don't know them. We had that luxury for such a long time in our own town. And it was lovely, Dennis, to see you honoured in this illustrious and august institution here and in this great position that you've carried with aplomb since you were inducted here into the Hall of Fame here, and I wish you well. So again, enjoy the rest of your evening, and again, Míle buíochas dóibh go léir. Delighted that all of you were such wholesome and wonderful participants. Thank you all.
I'd now like to invite Lady Captain Elizabeth Maloney to present the prizes. So, the team prizes, first of all, third overall with 88 points, with PGA professional David Higgins from Waterville Golf Links, was PJ Butler, Billy Fanning and Andy Daly. Running up with 90 points, the runners-up, PGA professional Ciarán Malloy, who I know is here, from Louth Golf Club, with Shane Scanlon, Dermot Scanlon and Frank Butler. Second. Dennis, do you want to get in for the photographs on Mike? For the photographs?
We'll do that.
And the team winners with a whopping 94 points with PGA professional Neil O'Brien of McGurk's in Finglas is, and I don't have the first names, M. Burke, Or Burke and J. Hickey.
Lady Captain and Captain, it's a great honour to win this, and our playing partner Neil, our captain, or our pro, and our sponsors Michael Reardon. Thanks very much. It was a great honour. Thank you to everyone, all the staff.